Hello everyone, it is me, Slotly Bitter, and welcome back to another bitter-ass stream. Today, we're going to be talking about lies, deception, deceit, just kidding, there's none of that going on, Whitney's eviction, and a new HOH is crowned. Let's see what's going on week 5 in the Big Brother house. Before we start today, I want to remind you guys to click the like button, share this with your friends so they can grab a drink, and click the link, and make sure to subscribe to Slightly Bitter so that you can keep up whenever I'm going live. You can also find me on Twitter at Slightly Bitter with an AH, on Twitch at Slightly Bitter with an AH, and on Instagram at Dylan Does with a Z instead of an S. With that being said, let's get into this week's Big Brother episodes. So, listen up, okay? We have a couple things to get to. First things first, we have to talk about the eviction. I feel like that's just the easiest thing. Okay, so I see a lot of people out there kind of bored with this season. And when I say a lot of people, I do not mean anyone on Twitter. I see people on like Facebook and Instagram, people like that kind of bored with the season. And I get it, but at the same time I don't. So I can get why they're bored because there hasn't really been any fights going on. There hasn't really been any major blindsides going on. So far, it's kind of just been, okay, we have the 4 people that the house does not care for, and we're just going to boot them out the door. It's been relatively easy for the other house guests to just pick them off. But I've been saying to these people, look, it's the first 4 weeks. We're not even in fucking jury yet. Look what happened with Big Brother 20. We were getting blindsides every single week, but then once it hit jury, things got boring as fuck. So you just got to let this season ride a little bit, and you need to hold it out. And I think the problem is what my title is. Everybody is so likable. I mean, even Whitney, there isn't really anyone in the cast I didn't really like. All of the people I didn't like all went home the first 3 weeks. I didn't care for Travis. I didn't really hate Travis. I just didn't care for him. I didn't like Frenchie, and I didn't like Brent, and all 3 of them were the first ones to go. Whitney said some things where I was like, I'm not really here for her, but I didn't hate her per se. Everyone left. I mean, there is a hierarchy. If you've been watching my stream, you would know that my top 4 are in this order, I would say. Tiffany, Xavier, Derek X, and Hannah. Those are my 4 that I'm writing for. If there was a draft out there, that would be my draft picks. Those are the ones that I want to see succeed the most of everyone that's still in the game. But even the rest of the house guests, I mean, my least favorites would probably be Brittany and Derek F. But even they're kind of, giving me a little bit something to work with. Like, I'm not necessarily mad at their presence in the game. And I just don't think that a lot of fans in our corner, a lot of fans in our circle are used to this feeling where, we're getting to see the people we like succeed in the game. I mean, is there really anyone left in the game that you guys would say is unlikable? Let me not ask that because I already know y'all hate Sarah Beth. But no, I don't think this season is boring. I think it's just taking a minute to find its footing. I've definitely still been enjoying the episodes. I mean, the feeds, I can't really go on the feeds because there's nothing really happening on the feeds, like it's just, them having a good time. Like, it's nothing to really get me to sit down and watch the feeds. But the episodes where we get to see their diary rooms, that's all great. This is kind of giving me Game of Thrones a little bit. This is or maybe Handmaid's Tale. This is the beginning part of the war. Let me do Handmaids, okay? Because I know a little bit about Game of Thrones, but I know more about Handmaid. Okay, so this is the beginning, right? This is when June gets put into Gilead, and June has to, make nice, find her allies, like suck up to the Waterfords, and play chess or Scrabble with Commander, make friends with Nick the driver and all that stuff, but do little things here and there, maybe what's that about the Resistance? Oh, okay, I got you. Mayday? Oh, okay. But it's building up to when, June's gonna escape Gilead, or when Tiffany cuts the head off of SB, Christian, and Alyssa. Like, it's coming. You know what I'm saying? Like Game of Thrones, the dragons are coming. The dragons are coming. Don't worry. And I really do feel like, unlike previous seasons, it's gonna give. And I remember season 19 was the worst. Like 19, everyone was like holding out hope that the season would be okay. They were like, okay, they're going to get the outsiders out and then it's going to be interesting. Then it's going to be interesting. I feel like with this season, it will be interesting because everyone in the game is really smart. Like, people are trying to, like, I don't know, someone was like ratting on Brittany because Brittany was able to figure out that who was it? I think Derek and Hannah were in the room with a bunch of people or something like that. And she was telling this to Xavier, and people were like, oh, she's a dumb player. She shouldn't be telling that to Xavier. Okay, well, Brittany doesn't have the 4-quad view and is able to see that the cookout is a thing. So, no, she's not necessarily a bad player. It's just that she doesn't know what's going on. But she caught on to stuff like that because, no, she's not wrong. Hannah and Derek X are in the pockets of a few people right now. So I think what will make this interesting is, I said this earlier, I'm rooting for everyone in the cookout. However, I want to see Kylan get picked off. I want to see Derek F get picked off, and I want to see Azza get picked off. And the reason why I want to see those 3 picked off is because I think with those 3 gone, I think that Tiffany could really kill it in the game. I think that her biggest obstacle right now is Kylan, and I think if they got down to 6, I think Tiffany would be in a strong position, but I do think Kylan would know she's got to be the first one to go, because Kylan has been getting on to Tiff. They're still very tight, but there's been little moments where Kylan has like seen Tiffany and her like intelligence, you know. So I said this a couple episodes ago. I do think the cookout is going to steamroll. I 100% think that. They're in too good of a position. There isn't anyone in the house right now that is winning competitions, or at least wants to win competitions, that will put them up next to each other. Sarah Beth is probably one of the only ones. And Sarah Beth has been throwing competitions. Did y'all see how fucking shit? I love how we were supposed to talk about Whitney's eviction, but we're talking about something else. But did y'all see how like Sarah Beth was like, I don't need to sleep. I'm throwing this competition with the shades and everything. I was like, girl, are you fucking like, what are you on about? And she was, and did y'all notice how she fell immediately after Hannah fell? I was like, girl, shut up. Like, please, you are in so much danger, girl, and you don't even realize it. But I think that the only one that would have really put up 2 members of the cookout next to each other would have probably been a Sarah Beth. I don't know what Derek X is going to do. I don't, but as far as the rest of the house guests, I'm sorry, I need to actually pull up a picture of everyone that's left so that I can refresh my memory. You know, at some point I'm going to put a graphic of everyone that's left in this thing up here. You know what? Next stream, I'm going to set that up. But out of everyone who is left, let me see. So, not counting the members of the cookout, apparently Alyssa was not going to nominate 2 members of the cookout, and I just don't see her doing that. I think she has said that she would have nominated 2 jokers, which more than likely would have resulted in a Brittany eviction. Then Christian probably is the biggest threat to do something like that at this point. Other than that, Claire's not going to nominate 2 members of the cookout. As far as we know, Derek X is not going to nominate 2 members of the cookout. And even if these people wanted to do that, they're not winning the competitions to do it. At this point, the cookout makes up half of the house. They make up half of the house. And as long as 2 of them are not put on the block against each other, there is nothing the rest of the house guests can do. They have the majority. And I really think that they could steamroll to the end. I really do. And if they do, I'm not going to be angry about it. I like everyone that's there. My thing is that I want Tiffany to win, and I really do think that Tiffany's biggest competition is an Xavier, is a Kylan, and even a Hannah. So that's why I would want to see Kylan necessarily go, because Kylan's not in my top 4. So for Tiffany to win the game, I would want to see Kylan leave, because I do think that Kylan is someone that would, you know, kind of give her the backhand, because I think Sarah Beth has been getting into his head a little bit, which is really unfortunate. But I think that Hannah is in a really good spot. I think that last week was the week where she would be in danger. I just don't see her getting targeted after this. You know, there's no one in the house that necessarily wants to see her go in particular. They were going after her because she was connected to other people that they wanted to align with. However, I think if Derek X turns on Alyssa and Christian this week, which I've heard the plan is 2 jokers go up and then Christian gets backdoored. That's what I've heard is apparently happening. And if that happens, then Shit's gonna go down for real. And I actually think that this is the week to boot Christian out. I think that if Christian stays next week, I think that he's gonna be the first one he's gonna draw first blood, especially if he hears something about him getting backdoored. But wouldn't that be a thing? Wouldn't that be a moment if all 4 white men are evicted before the jury phase? Wouldn't that be some shit? You know, the Facebook Karens would be angry. Oh, can I talk about something that happened to me, by the way? I want to talk about something that happened to me. Oh, thank you, Andre. Yeah, I finally got my whole setup situation going on. Okay, so there is this Facebook page called Big Brother Superfans. And let me go read their policy really quick for y'all. So if y'all didn't know, Sam Smith from BB21, you know, the Racist Season Part 2, that season recently got outed. Oh, it was the first thing on my Facebook page. That season recently got outed for having a racist group chat after the whole season was done. Remember how they made all their apologies? I'm sorry. I'm the least racist person I know. I would never say anything mean. You know how all members of Grateful said that exact same shit? Well, they got outed for having a group chat where they were making more racist comments and more racist jokes, and that was behind closed doors. So, no, you don't come back from that. And Sam Smith was part of that chat, and Sam Smith was one of those people that allowed that bullshit. On top of the bullying behavior that he, as a grown fucking man with 2 kids, engaged in the Big Brother household. But he was outed for having a troll account on Reddit where he said some shit like, I don't even want to quote it because I don't want anyone to be able to snip me saying it. But, well, I'm a Jew, so no one can fucking come for me. But he basically compared Jews to pizzas and said that what's the difference between Jews and pizzas? And he said some bullshit of, oh, Jews burn when they're in the oven, which is referring to how Jews were burned during the Holocaust. And it's just like, bitch, shut the fuck up. You are a grown fucking man. I don't care if these comments are from 3 fucking years ago. Your children were born 3 years ago. Bitch, fuck you. If you are old enough to stick your dick into someone's vagina and have 2 fucking kids that are in fucking elementary school at this point, you are old enough to not make fun of a fucking genocide, the world's biggest genocide in the whole fucking world, so you can eat my fucking dick and balls, bitch. I'm over it. I was so angry when I saw that shit. The biggest thing that you can do to piss me off is make a goddamn Holocaust joke. Don't fucking do it, bitch. Don't do it. 2/3 of my people were fucking exterminated. 2 fucking thirds. 2/3. That's why my Jewish side of the family is tiny. It's basically non-existent. We had so many family members that are not with us anymore because of that shit. So whenever someone makes fun of the fucking Holocaust, I'm like, eat my fucking dick. It pisses me off. So Sam Smith can go eat a giant fucking dick and choke on it. Ooh, let me stop. Okay, so this woman named Julie Severt Cohn, who literally looks like the definition of a Karen, and you know, her whole page, you know, it has Christian stuff on it, and you know, Jesus, like, oh, save me, Lord, oh, da 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 da. And you know, guess who she's standing? Christian. Is that a really surprise? And Jeff and Jordan and Cody. Yeah, like, are we really fucking shocked? No, we are not. So I actually really want to show a picture of her. Can I do that? Yes, I'm going to do that. Give me a second. I'm going to save her face. I'm going to put her on candid camera really quick. She got ugly ass dogs on here too. 1 second. 1 second. I want y'all to see the face of evil. Okay, that's going a little too far. 1 second. Oh, here she is. So this woman right here. Julie Severt Cohn. There you go, right there. Okay, so Julie Severt Cohn had this to say when referring to Sam getting outed for saying these fucking comments and people coming for him on Twitter. Mind you, no one was coming for him on this Facebook group. She's the first one to bring this up. No one else brought it up on her stupid little Facebook group. So she said, we are super fans. Therefore, we will never, in all caps, allow anyone to be rude, name call, or talk down to any, capitalized, past alumni in this group. Doesn't matter how you feel, they played, or personal dislike. You do not have to like anyone or respect them in any way to refrain from bashing them in this group. All alumni will be treated with respect here. If you cannot refrain from bashing any past house guest, then this is not the group for you. Respectfully, admin. So this is what she posted at first. So I commented below it. I said the following. Let me go get my screenshot from my phone because I had a feeling she would delete the post after I called her out on this. I said, he made a joke about Jews burning and screaming in ovens. As a Jew, my respect for him is gone. I'm not going to name call or harass him because he's not getting any love on my end just because he's an alum. What I'm basically saying is, no, I am not going to respect an anti-Semite. I am not going to respect an anti-fucking Semite just because they were on a goddamn TV show. I'm not. I'm not going to send him angry tweets being like, oh, you fucking bitch. I'm not going to do that. He's not worth my time. But you don't sit here and say that we need to respect all past alumni in the group. Are you high? So she deletes her post after my one comment that is not negative or nasty in any type of way. And she says the exact same thing, but instead she says, let me try this again. She puts, let me try this again. I'm not even joking with you. So, and she reposted that only an hour after I put that comment. So then she puts under her post that says that, can't believe how so many people have issue with common decency behind a computer screen or a cell phone. It's really ironic because the alumni that you are fucking defending had the same fucking issue. And do y'all want to hear the terms and policy of this Facebook group just so you guys understand how fucked up the Facebook community really is? It says this. Hold on, let me go to her little discussion group. Julie Severcone, fuck you, bitch. I don't know if she's... Ooh, sorry, I forgot that I'm not supposed to be calling women bitches. No bashing other group members, blah, 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 blah. Rule number 3, absolutely no discussions about racism, religion, or politics, even if it's regarding BB. All comments posted that are, will be deleted. We are all here to have fun. Okay, I hate to break it to you, love. I really do hate to break it to you. But Big Brother is a social fucking experiment. Let me get this bitch off my screen. Ooh, let me stop. See, I need to stop that. See, if I go on Big Brother, I'm going to get canceled because I call everyone bitches. But look. Big Brother, Survivor, Amazing Race, The Challenge, whatever you want to call it, are all the same premise. They are social experiments. You can't take a whole part of our social politics out of it and say, oh, we can't talk about that. We can't talk about that. No, absolutely no. No. Especially when it is a problem in Big Brother. It's a huge fucking issue on Big Brother. Y'all had none of this to say. None of this to say. When it was all black house guests and all POC house guests and all non-white passing house guests that were getting booted before the jury even began. Y'all had nothing to say about it. But guess what? She broke her own fucking rules. You want to know why? This same account, this same group that says we are not talking about racism here. Do you want to know how many posts about the cookout being racist are in this group that are allowed? Oh, but the cookout being called racist, that's allowed. Oh, we can call the cookout racist, but no, we can't call a White House guest racist. That's just not, that's just not allowed. I'm literally looking at this right now. The cookout is so racist, all of them should be expelled. From Negan Winchester. Winchester. But that's allowed. But we can't talk about a guy that's compared Jews and pizzas burning in an oven and screaming. We can't talk about that, though. Fuck you. Fuck you, white racist bitches on Facebook. You can eat my dick and balls. Period. I hated that. It bothered the fuck out of me. Don't be a stereotype, dear. Don't be a stereotype. It doesn't look good on you. Anyway, it really pissed me off. It really fucking pissed me off. It pissed me off. It pissed me all the way off. And no, if anyone's wondering, the cookout is not fucking racist. You can't be racist when you're not coming from a place of privilege. You can be prejudiced, you can be bigoted, but you can't be racist. And no, the cookout is not racist. If Big Brother, think of if all of the past seasons and the minority in the house was white people, right? Wouldn't you band together if your same group of people were getting voted out every single week? But I guarantee you, if it was white people doing this, no one would have anything to say about it. I'm guaranteeing you. If it was a group of white people doing this, I mean, it's already happened. It happened last season. No one had an issue with it. So, no, I'm not out of my mind for thinking that. But no, you can't say that the cookout is wrong because how many seasons, and I'm really going to try moving on from this because I do feel like I talk about this stuff every single stream, but I feel like I'm the only streamer that does. But how about women? Women's a perfect example if you don't understand why the cookout is to stick together. If every season it's a man winning, which it is, majority of the seasons are won by men, and all the women get booted very early, wouldn't you as a woman be like, I think the girls need to stick together because if not, we're going to get picked off one by one. That's what the cookout is about. There has not been one black winner in Big Brother US's history, unless you count Tamar Braxton, which is Celebrity, which had diverse casting. But in the US civilian version, out of 22 seasons, not one black winner. Not one. That is why the cookout is happening. So I'm really sick of people saying it's formed out of necessity. That's why I'm really sick of people saying the cookout is racist. And it's just, it really bothered me that this fucking woman is okay with someone being anti-Semitic, is okay with someone being anti-Semitic and doesn't like when people call that out, but is perfectly fine when people call the cookout racist. So that was just my little TED talk on that. It really bothered me. I'm going to go back to talking about the episode. So Whitney gets evicted, okay? Whitney went home because Whitney just didn't have any strong allies in the game. We all knew it was coming. Travis went home, Frenchie went home, Brent went home. Whitney didn't really have anyone left. I mean, she wasn't really tight with anyone in the house. Really, she was tight with Brent and Frenchie, and she ended up turning on both of them, and they both went home. So now there was no one left. I feel like her and Xavier were getting along pretty well, but other than that, no, she just didn't have any. I don't think she was a bad player. I just don't think she had any tight allies, and in Big Brother, that can make you a scapegoat. And that's the whole reason why she got eliminated, was not because she was a bad player or a bad person. She just didn't have any people backing her up. Brittany had Azza and Derek backing her up. Sarah Beth had immunity. So, and then the rest of them were basically all in that alliance, or they had the cookout backing them up. So Whitney kind of went home by default, was how I felt. This week, however, I'm not sure what Derek X is going to do, because my question is, does he stick with the Royal Flush? Because if he's sticking with the Royal Flush, his only option this week would be the Jokers. He would have to nominate Azza, Brittany, and Derek F. I feel like he said that he would nominate Azza and Brittany, but Azza and him are tight, aren't they? So maybe he would nominate Derek F and Brittany? I'm not sure, but I've heard there's talks about him backdooring Christian, which would be a situation. If he were to do that, Alyssa would be pissed, and I feel like I'd be here for it, because I feel like it would be a wake-up call for Sarah Beth and for Alyssa, and they'd be like, fuck, we need to work together. We need to win a head of household competition, because we're screwed. Because I feel like Sarah Beth, Christian, and Alyssa are 3 right now, and if Derek X does the first punch, I mean, it's great for the cookout, because then the cookout doesn't even need to do shit. And then next week, you can guarantee that Derek X and Hannah would go on the block, and then they could just, sorry, Derek X, you gotta go. And I'm not saying I want that, because I actually don't want that. I want Derek X to make it further in the game, but that could totally happen. Totally could happen. And then the cookout would really be on a roll, because they'd be a majority of the House. All they need to do is survive one more week, and they're more than half of the House. I'm just really excited to see what happens. I'm excited to see what happens. I think it's going to be a situation. A situation, I think. Me thinks it'll be a situation. So this HOH competition was the wall comp, which is what they do every single season. Whatchamacallit. I mean, it was pretty basic. Like, they had water, they had slime. It looked, you know what it looked like? It looked like, you know, those old Nickelodeon game shows, like Nickelodeon Guts and Brain Surge and all that stuff. It reminded me a lot of that because of the green slime, which I think Nick basically owns at this point. I thought it was really fun. I thought it looked cool. It also did not last that long. I mean, these wall comps generally don't last pretty long anymore. Endurance comps in general just don't last long anymore on Big Brother, which, I mean, is good because we get a result immediately, but it's kind of like, like, I don't know, it's kind of weird. Like, when I think about Big Brother 6 and how they lasted in that little pressure cooker for 12 fucking hours, like, that's iconic. That's legendary, and I feel like they should do something like that again. They never will because it probably costs way too much money to have extra cameramen on deck to get all perspectives of them. But I think it'd be so cool if they brought that back. But anyway, Derek F was off like within 10 minutes, which I thought was hilarious, but kind of expected. Brittany fell off relatively early. So did really they all. I didn't really tune in that much, but it went on for like about an hour and 20. And let me just say, Tiffany is a badass player. I feel somewhat like Tiffany through the HOH, I'm pretty sure. She definitely did not need to win it, but the fact that she made top 4 and she's the oldest one in the house is fucking incredible in my opinion. I think Tiffany is a boss, and I think that if she needs to win a competition, she can win a competition. I really want to see her do well. Like, I really just see Tiffany as the winner. Like, I want her to win. I really do. And I was happy she didn't get HOH because I just don't feel like she needs to. She's in a really good spot right now. She does not need to be winning anything. So it came down to Derek X, Alyssa, Tiffany, and Xavier. And I was thinking in my head, okay, if Alyssa wins, what is she going to do? I kind of wanted to see what she would do if she would win, and I thought it would, keep it interesting. I was pretty confident that she was just going to nominate 2 jokers, so I felt like it'd be like an easy week, whatever. So I was kind of like, yeah, let her win, because guess what? If she wins, takes out a joker, next week, her and Christian are definitely going on the block. I don't feel like this week she will go on the block. Derek X made a deal with her, and I just don't see him going back on it. I don't feel like this is the week that people are going to take a shot at them. For some reason, people want to be loyal to those two. But if Christian and Alyssa have an HOH under their belt, especially since Alyssa helped Christian with that HOH, they would definitely be the targets next week. So, I don't know. I kind of wanted Alyssa to win for that reason because I just don't think she's going to go home anyway this week. But, I mean, Christian could go home this week, so I guess it is kind of good she didn't win. Xavier kind of was just chilling the whole time, and I knew the second that Alyssa fell, he was dropping too, because Xavier had zero reason to win a second HOH, like zero reason. Like, he's not going on the block, he's not going anywhere, and even if he did, he would not be going home, even if it's against another Cookout member, in my opinion. And then, what was it? And then Derek X was just solid. I loved how Derek X was literally throwing every single thing at the wall that he could. He was like, I can give you hot Cheetos. I can give you, filet mignon. I'll give you my firstborn child, my, 10-ounce, ribeye. Whatever you want, just drop. I thought it was fucking hysterical, and it gave me very much when Natalie Anderson on Survivor was like telling Jeff, look, if you I'll drop it, I need a pizza, hot wings, water, all that shit, and then he brought it and gave it to her. I thought it was hilarious, but it was giving that. So Derek X ended up winning. I don't know why Derek X is winning all these competitions. I just don't feel like he really needs them. I think the first one he definitely did need, and I understood why he won that first Power of Veto. However, Derek X has been coming really close in all these competitions, and at this point, if I were the other house guest, I would be going after him. Definitely, I would be going after him. Because at this point, it's him and Christian that are. Oh, hold on. Let me take these out. But at this point, it is just. I'm dead. But at this point, it is really just Christian and Derek X that are winning these competitions. And I feel like if Derek X were to take Christian out this week, he is by far the biggest target. I mean, he's been coming second in veto competitions, second in HOHs. I mean, remember, his team almost won the last HOH. I don't know if y'all remember, but they were literally seconds away from winning it over the Kings. And I think that Tiffany, although Tiffany does have his back, I do think that Tiffany is going to start thinking, well, I might need to boot out Derek X. He's winning too much. I wouldn't be surprised. Tiffany is a cold-blooded killer. I think that Tiffany has it in her to just be like, especially if it frees up Hannah to go to her with Final 2. Tiffany won't be the one to do it, but Tiffany will get him on the block and get him evicted. And then that way Hannah will be all to herself for a Final 2. Because I think she wants to take Hannah to Final 2. I do, and I would live for that Final 2. That'd be an awesome Final 2. So, I just don't know what Derek's going to do. I feel like if Derek was smart, I feel like he would nominate Derek F and Azza. And the reason why is because, and I'm not saying I want him to do that, but if he were to do that, it would keep his alliance intact with the Royal Flush, so that way none of the kings are mad at him, and also none of the queens are mad at him. And he's also guaranteed to take out someone that's close to Tiffany, Kylan, and Xavier, who he's trying to work with, and Hannah too. And if he can free up a spot, he could potentially get himself into that like Final 6. I feel that he's making close enough connections to where if he can lower his threat level, he could kind of sneak into that alliance and find himself there towards the end. You know what I'm saying? And if his connection is so tight with these people, who knows if they will, take him out or if they'll take him to the end. And maybe at that point it won't matter and he could just win out from there. But definitely if I were him, I would do Azza and Derek F, just because if he does Brittany, nothing's really going to change, honestly. And I mean, he has no reason not to nominate he has no reason not to nominate them. I mean, there's no way he can know about the cookout, and I'm not trying to say I don't want the cookout to succeed. I'm just saying that for Derek X's particular game, it definitely would benefit him if he were to nominate Derek F and Azza, just because it would keep all of his alliances intact and it would lower a number of the people he's trying to work with. However, I think he's going to take Brittany out this week, and I'm not mad about it. Brittany is kind of not really giving me anything. All she gives me is cringe. And she will fit in perfectly with that pre-jury, I feel. I fear Brittany and Christian will definitely fit in with that jury. That pre-jury very well. As far as the following week, I don't know. This is the first week where I really don't know what's going to happen. But I feel like once we see who's the nominees, I feel like we'll get a pretty good idea. And there's not likely to be any kind of flip-floppery unless a veto is used and Christian is backdoored. But yeah, that's pretty much all that's really going on. Oh, we need to talk about Sarah Beth. I almost forgot. We do need to talk about Sarah Beth. Okay, so I'm dead, Kendall. I was weak at the 6 backflips was ridiculous. After he did that, I was like, okay, y'all need to send him the fuck home. But I love Kendall. But, oh, Claire. I keep forgetting Claire is even in the fucking game. And I like Claire. Claire is literally from the org community. Like, I know Claire. Like, I feel so bad, but I literally am always forgetting that she's in the fucking game. I think I'm Facebook friends with Claire. Let me quickly check. Let me check. I might be Facebook friends with Claire, cause she was in not Instinct. She was in some Facebook game that they did live. Let me quickly check, cause I definitely could be friends with Claire. Who knows? I might have actually invited her to be on my show. What was her last name? R.E. something. Okay, well, it's not coming up automatically, so odds are I'm probably not. We definitely share similar groups, though, because I saw her around. Ooh, my computer is about to die. Oh, that's why it's lagging. Okay, I'm gonna go grab my charger. I will be right back, okay? It'll literally be like 2 seconds. Here I am, once again, feeling lost, but now and then. Alright, I'm just plugging this in. Give me 2.2 seconds. I breathe it in to let it go. That bitch has no fucking career. Oop. Oh, Lord, let me sit back down. So what was I talking about before I ran off? I was talking about something. Was I talking about Sarah Beth? I feel like I was talking about Claire. Yeah, I probably share a Facebook group with her or something, but I keep forgetting she's even in the game. Okay, so Sarah Beth. Okay. This is my thoughts on Sarah Beth. Let's be honest. Y'all don't like her because she's coming after Hannah. Let's just be honest, okay? Y'all don't like her because she was coming after Hannah. Now, there were other things that were being talked about today. Before you jump on me, before you choke me out, I understand that there are things that have come out today about Sarah Beth, which is why y'all don't like her. However, let's just be frank, and there is no problem with admitting to this. There's nothing wrong about it. Y'all don't like Sarah Beth because she targeted Hannah last week, okay? And that is totally fine, okay? I totally understand it. I mean, shit, there is no problem not liking someone because they are targeting your fave. Like, there is no problem with that. However, I'm not one of those people. I don't really mind Sarah Beth. I've honestly forgotten she was even in the game. However, I understand why she would want Hannah out, because honestly, I would too. I like Hannah. I feel like I would be in a different situation where I would be really good friends with her. She's in my top 4. I want her to go far. And trust me, we're going to talk about the controversy. I know about the controversy. We will talk about it. But if you're in an alliance, right? An 8-person alliance, which is already really easy to be broken up. If you have people in the alliance defending someone that is not in the alliance, being like, no, we can't evict her. No, we can't evict her. What do you mean we can't evict her? It'd be different if they were like, okay, well, we really want Whitney out. But they're saying we want Hannah to stay. It's not we want Whitney out, we want Hannah to stay. And if I was Christian, Alyssa, and Sarah Beth, I would raise my eyebrow. I'd be like, okay, well, Hannah is not in our alliance. You know, if you guys want her to stay so bad, why isn't she in our alliance? And if I was Sarah Beth, yeah, I would target Hannah. Just because she could be a potential threat to my game because she's allies with my allies. Tiffany is doing the same thing with Sarah Beth. Sarah Beth is tight with Kyland. So Sarah Beth needs to go because she could potentially get Kyland to flip on Tiffany and to go with her to the end instead of Tiffany. That is why she wants Sarah Beth out. So, yes, y'all don't like Sarah Beth because she is a threat to Hannah, or not saying she actually is a threat to Hannah, because honestly, Sarah Beth is no threat to anybody as of right now, but potentially wanted Hannah out the game, and that is totally fine. I'm just not one of those people where I don't like someone because they're coming after my people. However, I will say this. What came out about her today, I understand why people don't like her. Okay, so I will say this. There was a video today of Azza and Sarah Beth talking about Brent. And, I mean, we've watched the feeds and how Brent was treating Hannah. And Sarah Beth and Azza were talking about how in their day-to-day life, they've met people worse than Brent. And Sarah Beth has hung out with people that are worse than Brent. And she said she has people in her family that are worse than Brent. And they were, like, laughing about it, like, pushing it off. And people were really mad about it. Okay, this is my opinion on that. These are two women talking about sexual harassment, okay? These are not two men. This is not two people that are less likely to get this. What they're basically, and they don't experience what Hannah experienced. You know, Brent wasn't as hands-on with those two as he was with Hannah and Alyssa. So I can kind of get why they wouldn't understand how people dislike Brent so much, or how they've faced worse people. And I don't feel like when they were talking about that, they were like, oh, Hannah's freaking out about nothing. I don't think they were trying to dismiss anybody. It's just, you need to remember, these people are in a house and they're 24/7 live feed. And the problem is that they don't see everything. And secondly, you guys tune in on conversations halfway through and you just read what the tweet says. Some of you don't even watch the video. Like, let's just be frank. Some of y'all just don't watch these fucking videos. I'm victim of this. I sometimes don't even watch the videos. I just read what the tweet says that they said. I don't even watch them actually say it. And I feel like the problem is that a lot of people just don't like Sarah Beth, so they're like, okay, let's run with this. However, there was another video that I saw that came out about Sarah Beth where I think she actually was dismissing Hannah. But again, I didn't watch that video, so I'm not going to speak on it. So all I'm going to say about this is that... Sorry, I need to get my hair out of my face because I know it's going to start itching me. But my hair's growing out pretty nicely, I would say. But what I'm going to say about this is that I don't think that Sarah Beth or Azza were dismissing Hannah or Alyssa's experience. I don't think they were even laughing it off. I don't even think they were referring to Hannah or Alyssa. They were talking about misogyny. They were not even, I don't even think they were talking about sexual harassment. They were talking about misogynistic, like people that talk down to women. I don't think they were even talking about sexual harassment because I don't even know if they heard about those stories or not. But I do understand why people have a problem with it, however. I just feel that people don't like Sarah Beth, and that's what it is, because I see all of the anger towards Sarah Beth and not towards Azza when both of them were laughing. Like, I feel that if you're going to be angry at one, you need to be angry at both, because both of them were talking about this, both of them were laughing at it. You have to be angry at both, or you can't be angry at either. That's how I feel. But I understood what they were saying, and I don't think they were trying to dismiss Hannah or dismiss Alyssa, but that's why I think that you can't just take a segment of people's conversations and get angry over it, because sometimes people are just saying things in passing and they don't really mean it, or it's just or it's whatever. If they were sitting there and they were laughing at Hannah, saying that Hannah was overreacting, or Alyssa was overreacting, and they were name dropping them in particular, I could understand it. But again, we need to remember, the whole house thought Brent was misogynistic. The whole house didn't like Brent. You know, they're probably referring to the whole house. And I'm not trying to defend them or anything like that, even though this is coming off as me defending them. It's just that I do feel that a lot of times when we're on Twitter and we're just watching the text feeds, I feel that people can overreact to what some people say. And I'm not saying this happens all the time or even a majority of the time. I'm just saying that sometimes we read what people say and we take it more harsher and more critical than they do, because we're not really a part of the conversation. We're just watching from afar. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like, you know how friends joke with each other or whatever? Like, and if an outsider looked in, and I'm not trying to like justify this as like joking or whatever, but I'm just saying that an outsider's perspective is going to be different from an insider's perspective. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, but I don't think the house guests fully understood or saw what we saw. You know, we got to see what Brent was doing. We got to see Brent grabbing Hannah's ass. We got to see Brent following her or trying to lay with her all the time, or like seeing where she is actively searching for her, telling her and telling other people that she's not as smart and that he could get her whenever she wants. We saw that. These people didn't necessarily see that. You know what I'm saying? And Azza really said no showmances. It's like the Anne Franklin meme. I'm dead, Kendall. Oh my gosh. But I just wanted to point that out, and I know a lot of people are probably not going to agree with me, and that's totally fine. And I'm not sitting here dismissing anybody's experience at all. I'm most definitely not. I'm actually defending Hannah and defending Alyssa. And I do think that Brent's behavior should have gotten a warning, or at least two. I don't even think Brent got talked to. I was uncomfortable watching Brent grabbing Hannah's ass, to be honest with you. I thought they would have learned their lesson with Frank, with what he was doing to Davon, but apparently not, because I can guarantee you he never got talked to. But I understand why people felt some type of way about that conversation. But again, I do feel like some people are just looking for a reason to not like Sarah Beth, or to get people to not like her because she's targeting Hannah. But I can respect if people don't like her. I can even respect if people don't like her because she was acting cocky, like, I don't even need to win this HOH. I'm going to throw it. I'm going to stay up late. I'm going to throw it. I can get why people don't like her for that reason. But let's be honest. If Derek X were to say something like that, y'all would be living. Like, let's just be real. Let's keep it $1.50. Like, y'all would be living if Derek X was with the shades like, I'm going to throw the HOH tomorrow. Yup. Oh, goodness gracious. But honestly, and don't get it twisted. I'm not even a fan of Sarah Beth. Like, look at me sitting here trying to like be devil's advocate for Sarah Beth when I don't even fucking like her, when I'm rooting for Hannah. Like I don't even care for Sarah Beth like that. Like, Sarah Beth is at my bottom of my fucking list. Like, Sarah Beth, Brittany, and Christian and can all fucking go home for all I care. Like, seriously. Like, for real. Honestly, I really am. I like everyone that's there. I don't dislike anyone that's there. My top 4 is Derek X, Hannah, Xavier, and Tiffany. And I want Claire to start playing the game a little harder. I want Azza to wake up and play the game a little harder. And then Derek F is just really funny. And Kyland, and you know what? I like Kyland, but I'm rooting against Kyland because I'm rooting for Tiffany. Because like I said, I think Kyland is going to catch on to Tiffany, and I think Kyland's going to come for her. So that's why I'm not rooting for Kyland, but I like Kyland. And if Kyland succeeds, I'm not angry about it. If Kyland were to win, I think he'd be a great winner. I mean, he was on the block the first week, and then won an HOH, and is literally in nobody's mouth to go home. Nobody's mouth to go home. I'm sorry. Excuse me. Oh, goodness gracious. That was... What did I eat today? I've been having 1 meal per day. What did I have today? Oh, you know what I had today? I had Cajun salmon. Oh, no, not salmon. Swordfish. Ooh, that shit was really good. That was really good. I loved it. And I had curly fries with it. Curly fries with that. I also... What else did I have? I had... What else did I have? Oh, I had a strawberry acai from a refresher from Starbucks. That was really good. I liked that. And I think that was all I had. So yeah. Okay. Let me also talk about this. The fact that everyone in the house is so fucking likable is honestly getting on my nerves, because there's literally no one that I want to see go home. Like, it kind of sucks because I think that they're all too likable, which, I mean, is not a problem, but it kind of is, because I think that's the reason why we haven't really seen any confrontation and there hasn't really been any drama. Not saying that, oh, Big Brother needs to just have drama, but any proponent of a good season of Big Brother has some drama. I mean, shit, Big Brother 10 is like considered the best season, and that was Drama City every single fucking week, from week 1 to the final week. And I feel like the problem is that they casted way too many likable people that are all gonna get along with each other. I mean, is there really anyone in the house besides, I would say, Frenchie, and I would say Brent as well, that would get into an argument? Like, maybe Derek F, but like, honestly, I can't see Xavier or fucking who else? Derek X getting into an argument with anybody. No, I can't see that. Could you see Brittany getting into an argument? Brittany would just be like, "Hey, you put me on the block. You put me on the block." Like, you're not gonna see anybody come for anyone. I can't see Christian coming for anybody. Kyland, no, you can't see Kyland coming for anybody. Sarah Beth, I was going to say Sarah Beth, but Sarah Beth actually came for production pretty hard. She was like, "Close the fucking lights!" It was so fucking funny. But no. I just there's not really anyone in there that's like an oil and water situation, and I feel like that was somewhere that they missed the mark a little bit. Like, you should put people in there that you could see butting heads with each other, because that's what it's all about. You know, it's all about putting together people that would never associate with each other in the outside world. And that's what I would be here for. I actually wish there were some older house guests in there. I know Big Brother is really not becoming that at this point. Big Brother is becoming like an all young person game, and they certainly did a better job at casting people in their near 30s and over 30. But I kind of wish that there would have been, you know, maybe like a 50-year-old, maybe a 60-year-old. Shit, put an old 75-year-old in there. I think that would be fun. Because older people have less things to lose. You know what I'm saying? I actually feel that 1/4 of the cast should be older. I think that they should start reserving 1/4 of the cast to be people above the age of 40. I really do. I think that if you were to start putting, I mean, look at Jerry and Rennie from Big Brother 10. Mess central. Older people don't give two fucking shits. Throw them in there with these young people. Don't put just one. Don't put one. Put four. Put four in there. And I think they'd be a hoot and a half. Look at Karen. Look at Kevin from BB19. Like, the older people are always fantastic. Well, not Frenchie, but Frenchie's not even older. Oh, speaking of Frenchie, did y'all see Frenchie's little fucking video? Did y'all see Frenchie's little video? Frenchie is such a dummy. I can't with Frenchie. Frenchie was like, Hannah's gonna run the game. Hannah's gonna win. Is there a problem with that, Frenchie? Is there a problem with that? And since when, hold on. Since when did you say that Hannah needed to go home? That never came out your fucking lips. It never left your fucking lips that Hannah needed to go home. So don't even act like it did. Like, he's saying, I was warning them that they needed to take Hannah out. You were booted the first week you were eligible. You were practically the first boot. You went home second. Number 2, how are you going to sit here and tell anybody about the game? How are you going to sit here and say what people should be doing, what people shouldn't be doing, acting like they're all dumb and you're not dumb? You are a dummy. You are a dummy. Idiot. Like, the fuck are you talking about, you fucking dummy? Like, oh, Hannah's gonna take the name. Bitch, go sell a fucking t-shirt and go to Hearts of Reality. Like, who fucking cares? Like, seriously, nobody cares anymore. In the words of Abby Lee Miller, when referring to Leslie, just go. Nobody cares anymore. Seriously, who fucking cares at this point? Like, girl fucking bye. Like, Frenchie is really gonna be a backseat driver for the rest of Big Brother now that he thinks he has a platform. So, whatever. Check your phone. Okay, I'll check my phone. Oh my god. Yes, I saw this. There was someone. So Frenchie has a mugshot. Which, are we really surprised? Frenchie has a mugshot. Let me quickly show that to the camera really quickly. Frenchie has a mugshot. And there was this one user who, I don't know if this user is in the chat right now, but Frenchie, he posted under Frenchie's page where Frenchie was like, oh, I'm the best and y'all are just jealous or blah, blah, blah. Posted Frenchie's mugshot like 7-8 times. Like, flooded his replies with Frenchie's mugshot. It was the funniest shit ever. And my favorite part is that Frenchie literally asked for this. He said, if I go on the show, y'all need to roast me or I'm blocking you. Like, bitch, fuck all the way off. Oh, hi, Keisha. He made history being the first HOH. Oh, exactly. Like, fuck all the way off. Like, you're the only HOH in history to be evicted right afterwards. Fucking dummy. Also, Keisha, I hope all goes well with your surgery. I saw your message, and I'm sending you lots of love, and I'm hoping your surgery is safe and you recover well. But yeah, Frenchie, nobody cares about your fucking opinion. Also, isn't it funny how Julie Chen Moonves and all of these eliminated players refuse to mention the cookout. Why is the cookout not being mentioned? Like, did y'all see Brent was like, I think Christian's playing the best game because he's a comp beast and I'm blah, 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 blah. Even though he admitted that the men are all going to go home one after another. Like, do y'all not know the cookout is happening? Because it's happening, and none of them are going home anytime soon. They are literally running the game. To be honest, they're, what's it called? Excuse me. They are literally the Brigade Part 2. They're doing exactly what the Brigade did. They're all pairing off with different people. They're playing the individual games, but they have an agreement that they stick together. And it's working flawlessly. It's working flawlessly. And the only reason why people aren't mad about it is because they're making history. They're making history, and they're all likable. So, yeah, the Cookout's playing the best game by far. And if you want to go even further, I would say Tiffany, Kylan, and Xavier are at the top of that list. They're at the top of that list. So I don't understand why they're not getting props and they're acting like the royal flush is it. It's just like how even with the committee, when the committee were the ones running it last season, they were like, oh, the Slick Six, the Slick Six, the Slick Six. Even though the Slick Six was a fake fucking alliance. Like, who fucking cares? Like, that shit was not even real. I don't know. It's really weird behavior. Really weird. It is really weird behavior, I would say. It is really weird behavior. But yeah. Let me give a quick assessment of everyone that's left before I close this out. So, I've been going live for an hour. Lit. Okay, so Alyssa. I think Alyssa is actually she surprised me. She's giving about what I thought she would, but a little bit more. I think if she can win an HOH, maybe she can turn the game around. I think that she might lose her boyfriend this week, and that might, light a fire under her ass. And if she can recover, then maybe she can do something, but I think at this point, Alyssa's just a sitting duck. Azza, I think that Azza's game is pretty good because she's in the cookout, but right now, her only allies are really just Brittany, Derek F, and the rest of the cookout, and she's just not at the top of anyone's priority list except for Derek F and Brittany, and that could be a problem for her when she reaches the towards the end of the game, and I could see Azza and Derek F turning on the cookout, to be honest with you. I think that they might nominate Hannah, and then if they nominate Hannah, they're breaking the agreement, and I think that Kylan, Tiffany, and Xavier would nominate them. I hope that doesn't happen. I'm not putting it out there. I'm just saying that Azza wants Hannah out a little too much. I don't understand why, but Azza just doesn't trust Hannah, and I kind of get what she's saying, actually, that they're not talking any game. I do feel like that they should start talking game. Like, Tiffany should say, okay, well, you need to go talk game with Hannah. That's what Tiffany should have told her. She should have been like, well, if you don't feel comfortable with her, she's in our 6, you should talk game with her. You know what I'm saying? So I hope Azza doesn't do that, because I think if she does that, it will hurt her game significantly. But Azza, I think she really needs to step it up this second half of the game. Brittany is kind of just like a turd waiting to get flushed. Like, unless Azza and Derek F and her go on some miraculous immunity run, which is absolutely not going to happen. I mean, HOH or comp win run, POV run, it's just not going to fucking happen. Brittany probably will go home this week, if not next week. Like, a big thing would need to happen for Brittany to last longer, even though I think Azza and Derek F will really be dissuaged to getting rid of her. I think it would have been interesting if Brittany and Hannah were on the block last week, because I don't know if they would have evicted Hannah or Brittany. But thankfully that did not happen. Christian, I think Christian is the type of person that I think if Christian goes home, the cookout has got this, because Christian is really their last obstacle. I think he's the only one left that could really do damage to them, because Derek X is aligned with too many cookout members to actually gun for them. Christian, I think if he were to win, I think he would nominate. I mean, what choice would he have at that point? At that point, if Brittany's going home this week, then next week, if he wins it, who's he going to nominate? He's not nominating Alyssa or Sarah Beth. So, Claire, is he going to put Claire up? But Claire is good with him, apparently. So, I think that they need to take Christian out, because if they don't take Christian out, I think that he could be the one to break them up, just because he is a beast and he's winning so much. But people trust him, so we'll just have to see what happens. Claire, I keep forgetting Claire's even in the fucking game, which is really unfortunate because I think she's really smart. However, she has immunity this week, and she's had immunity last week, so we'll see when when jury hits, if her game shakes up. But she's in a really good spot, so there's really nothing for her to do right now. Derek F has just been ridiculous the whole season. I evict to vote. Or was it I vote to vict? Did y'all notice Julie correcting him tonight? I thought that shit was hilarious. And he still didn't get it. Even when she said that, he still didn't get it. He was like, okay, bye. So Derek F is just a mess, and I'm not rooting for him in any capacity, and I still remember that shit he said earlier on in the season, but I just think he's so funny that keep him around. And you know what? I think Derek F could last a really long time. I don't see anyone targeting him. I just feel like people are just going to drag him along. I don't see him winning anything. Like, I think he'll be here for a while. Derek X has made himself such a big target that I don't know how much longer he's going to last, but he's a really smart player, really likable, and I really like him, and I liked him from even before the season began. So we'll just have to see what happens with him. But I'm rooting for him, and I'm excited to see what he's going to do this week. Hannah has been one of my favorite people from the jump. I've said that she would probably have been like my best friend if I was in the game. I really like her, and I think now that Brent's out the game and she survived that eviction, I think that her game is really going to succeed, and she's going to do really well. She's easily the most intelligent person in that house as well. Kylan's just playing a good game. Like, he's close with Derek X, so he's safe this week. He's in a really good alliance, both sides in both majority alliances. Kylan is really underrated. Like, he really could take this win, like, if they don't get rid of him. Like I'm saying, if Tiffany wants to win, she would get rid of Kylan, because I think Kylan's her biggest competitor right now. Kylan is really smart and just really likable and a great person. Sarah Beth, it really depends on what Derek does this week. I don't know if he's going to put up Sarah Beth or not, because they have seemingly been relatively close. I'm not sure how far she's going to make it. It really depends on if she can win HOH or if Christian and Alyssa win HOHs. It just really depends what happens. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how far she's going to go. Like, she needs to quit being so cocky. I think she needs to get a fire lit under her ass. She needs to get nominated and realize she's not as safe as she thought she was. And that's it. I think if she was on another season, maybe she'd do better, but it's just not happening this season, I don't think, with her, but we'll see. Tiffany, in my opinion, is playing the best game. She has a firm grip on the house. She is tight with almost everybody to the point where I don't think she needs to win an HOH until at least mid-jury. Like, I just don't see her getting targeted anywhere near. Like, there's no one in the house that I would see nominating her, except for maybe Sarah Beth. But I don't even feel like Sarah Beth would, you know? I'm not sure, but I don't think Sarah Beth would. So Tiffany is really going to be a threat down the line, and I'm interested to see if it's the cookout remaining, who would win against Tiffany and Kylan. Xavier, I think, is doing really well. He has a lot of close allies. He's really likable. He's honestly one of my favorites, maybe even my favorite. And I want to see him do really well, and I think that he's another one that's set up really well. I'm predicting that pre-jury will either, I think the last pre-juror will probably end up being Sarah Beth, Brittany, or Christian. More than likely, it'll be Brittany or Sarah Beth. But I'm going to go with Brittany, probably. I think that we'll see two jokers on the block, and if a backdoor isn't executed, I think that it'll end up being Brittany that leaves, unless she somehow isn't on the block. So yeah. And then threats to win at this point, I'm going to say Tiffany, Kylan, and Xavier are my top three that I think potentially could win. I would say Derek X, but Derek X is going to get cut at some point. The cookout has to realize he's a threat at this point. He's probably their biggest threat. Him and Christian are their biggest threats just because they're winning the competitions and they have pretty good connections. So I just think that right now Tiffany, Kylan, and Xavier are my front runners, and I would put Hannah at number 4 as a front runner as well. So that's my thoughts on the game so far. I'm really liking this season just because I really like the people that are in there. Oh, I got someone for my show. Thank God. I actually need to DM after this. I need to DM them after this. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, but I like how this season's turning out. I'm not used to watching a season and not being stressed. Like, it is so weird to watch this show and not hate who's winning. It is so weird to watch this season and actually like who's doing well. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not used to it. I'm used to fucking the committee winning and fucking Christmas Abbott winning and Josh winning, like disgusting people winning. So it's just really refreshing to see likable people doing so well. That's why I'm not mad. That's why, revolving back to the question at hand, Big Brother 23 discussion, everyone is so great. Is that a problem? For me, it's not a problem. It's not a problem. I think that we've really needed it. I think that after the past couple of seasons we've had, season 22 and 21, and then jump over 20, go to 19, where there's been such issues with the problematic house guests. I think that this is a season that was needed, and even though it's not the most entertaining because there's no drama going on, and it's not the most interesting because we know who's going home, I think this is a season that Big Brother needed because we needed a refresh. We needed I think this is a perfect season to start the new era of Big Brother with. We're seeing new faces being in the power position. We're seeing new types of alliances forming. We're seeing new power structures, new personalities, and it's changing. I mean, I thought about this earlier. In a typical season, I think that the boot order would be flipped. I think that in a typical season, the first four would have been the final four. I mean, think about it. It reminds me of the Brigade. Literally, like, the past couple seasons, it's been the alpha male young guy, Cody and Jackson, Mickey Mouse, winning the game, and then they brought the old man with them to the end, and then they chopped off one of their lackeys, and then they brought one girl with them to the end, and that's usually who was at the final four. I mean, you could take a bunch of seasons, and that's who's at the end. So I like the fact that the people that usually don't get a chance on Big Brother now are getting a chance, and it's great for the audience. It's great for the people in the game, and it really, has a bright future for the series. I had no interest on being on Big Brother because of the show's racist history and because of the problematic people that tend to get casted on the show. And I just don't feel like this season has had any problematic people besides Brent and Frenchie, who are both out the door. So it's just really refreshing. It's refreshing to not have to hate watching the feeds or hate watching the show. Like, I have whole Big Brother watch parties with my friends. Wednesday is Big Brother night. I go over to my friend's house and we kiki and we watch Big Brother. It's a fun time. I enjoy who I watch on the television. I can't say the same thing for Big Brother All-Stars 2, quote unquote, for Big Brother 21. Like, I can't say the same thing for those seasons. So even though there's no fighting going on, even though it's predictable so far, I really like this season, and I'm okay with everyone being likable. And if you're not, go watch Big Brother 10. Go watch any of the old school seasons, and you'll get plenty of fighting, plenty of iconic moments. Go watch Big Brother 11. Big Brother 11, I forgot, had so many fucking fights until I saw this, like, compilation on Twitter. Like, I really forgot how underrated of a season that is, even though they awarded a homophobe America's Favorite House Guest. But yeah, I really like this season. I'm excited to see what happens in the jury phase. I think the jury phase is going to be when things really start to heat up because everyone is playing the game. They're playing it harder than the All-Stars were, quote unquote. I can't even call them All-Stars without gagging a little bit in my throat. But yeah, anyway, before I end this stream, I'm going to take some questions in the chat. So let me look at the chat really quickly and give some shout outs to my normal peeps. We got Aaron Hughes here. We got Khalid here. We got JJ12792. We got Keisha. We got Yui. I want correct me if I said your name wrong. I apologize if I did. We got Kendall, my girl. We got Andre. We got Deshawn in the mix. Who else we got? Who else do we got here? I think we should have more. Oh, Arcanums is here. We had Banana Games here for a minute. Frank Hicks was here. Your boy Alex was here. Tay Nation was here. Allison Acidland, my favorite name. Raylan was here. Oh, I hadn't seen Raylan in a minute. But yeah, thank all of you guys for coming back. I appreciate the usual suspects being here. I love it. Khalid said, I just know Davon would be proud of the season. Well, I think that Davon inspired this group of house guests. I do. I think that, Davon won America's Favorite House Guest, and everyone was trying to discredit her. I said this in another video that I think Davon deserved it because I was a fan of her from her first season when she was the second boot. I remember wanting Davon to come back even though she had only been on the show for 2 weeks. And I remember thinking there's no way they're ever going to bring her back. And when she came back for 18, I was so fucking pumped because I loved her on season 17. And I think that Davon inspired the future. And I think with her speeches, she made a difference that she wanted to make. She wanted to inspire future Black house guests to play harder, to fight, and to change it, to change what's happening, and to be the first Black winner. And even though she couldn't be the first one to do it, I think that the following season, this season, I think someone will do it. I think we're going to get a Black winner this season. I really do. And I think that Davon has something to do with it. I think that Davon's speech has empowered the Black house guests this season and future Black house guests. And I think that Davon is legendary and iconic for that alone, even though her highest placement is 10th. So Davon definitely made her mark, and I love it. Not you saying goodnight when I haven't logged off yet. Deshawn said, cough, cough, some stars. Day always manages to make things better. Well, now she's on X on the Beach, and I heard that's really dramatic. I'm not going to lie, I don't watch X on the Beach. I don't plan on watching it, but I might watch it for her, to be honest with you. Even though I don't want to watch Min Lee or Jamar again. Excuse me. Mainly Min Lee. Can't you imagine Frenchie returning a la Paul in 19? Don't even put that out there. Seriously, I could see them bringing him back, but if they bring him back, I will literally gag. And not in the good way. Fucking disgusting. They better not bring him back. I swear to God. I swear to God. They better not bring him back. A friend on Twitter told me how they haven't been this happy about Big Brother in a while. Well, how would you feel if you had to watch literally... I don't think people understand this. I've read... interview, and this is a point I haven't talked about yet, but I've read so many exit interviews with Zakia, Dominique, Bailey, Davon, Kemi. Do you guys realize how many of these Black house guests have gone on this show and left traumatized? When I say traumatized, I mean traumatized. I really do encourage you guys to go read these interviews that were done a year after, 2 years after, 3 years after. These house guests were traumatized from the racism that they had to experience. It didn't just happen and then it went away. This was a traumatic experience, and I don't think people understand that. And imagine if you, as a young Black person, have to watch from home. As a fan, you have to watch this show. You have to watch people that look like you go on this show and get traumatized. Do you think that Paul saying that he was going to wear blackface to Dominique's eviction didn't traumatize her? Her getting isolated and bullied by the whole house didn't traumatize her? Bailey having a miscarriage because of the way that Tyler and Angela treated her the week that she was going home? You don't think she was traumatized? It's serious. It's serious, and I don't think people think about it, especially the people that make the tweets they make these tweets in passing, supporting, but I don't think people realize how much mental damage this does to somebody. Seriously, Big Brother alone is a traumatic experience. You're locked in a house with no contact from people you love. It's a stressful environment. You have to pick off people that you become friends with, and people get bullied in the house. You get cabin fever. It's a really stressful experience. If you have to add on top of that getting isolated and bullied and being on the receiving end of racism, which is also a very traumatic experience, no. The way that I think about it is, how would I feel if I saw Jewish house guests getting isolated and anti-Semitic comments being thrown at them. Like, that's how I relate to the situation. And I imagine myself being horrified by it. I mean, shit, I spent the whole first half of the stream cussing out Sam Smith for his anti-Semitic comments. And I think the problem is people don't think about that. They don't think about the trauma that comes after Big Brother. They only think about the trauma happening in Big Brother. And it's just, imagine having to watch that on TV. If I was a black fan, I would not tune in anymore. I wouldn't want to tune in and watch other black people go on the show and get traumatized. It's probably traumatizing to watch, you know? I just don't think that a lot of fans understand that, and I hope that if you didn't get that you kind of think about that now. So I don't know. I don't know which is worse. Oh, Khalid said bye. I don't know which is worse, BB15, BB19, or BB21. I think 15 is the worst. Well, yeah, 15 is the worst because 15 and 19 both had isolating and bullying. But no, it must be really traumatizing to watch that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I think that this is a very refreshing season for that reason. I think that that this season has been a really refreshing thing to watch, especially for Black and BIPOC fans of the show. And I think that's why it's important. And that's why when you got motherfuckers hating on the cookout, I'm just like, y'all need to let it go. Seriously, like, if you don't like that this is the alliance that's running the game, just wait till next year. Like, seriously, like, this has been literally something that fans have dreamed of and wanted to see after all the years of having to watch white house guests mistreat black house guests and other house guests. Like, seriously, fuck all the way off. Just let people have a fun season. Like, seriously. Instead of trying to come for the alliance. Y'all weren't doing this when the committee was doing it. I'm just saying. Like, for real. Whatever. Anyway. BB15's gameplay was good. It's a reset. It is a reset. And I've enjoyed myself this season. I don't know about y'all. I've been enjoying myself. I've had a good time. I haven't been sweating. You know, I haven't been nervous at any of the evictions so far. So, yeah, I like this season. This season's great. And, you know, I really wish that more... See, don't get me wrong, I like the cookout, I just really don't want an alliance dominating the game. And that's fully respectable. Trust me, I feel the exact same way. I mean, I'm sitting here saying that if Azza and Derek F are on the block this week, fantastic. If Kylan goes home at some point because he's a threat to Tiffany, fantastic. But I can respect why people would want this alliance to dominate, and if they dominate, I'm not going to be mad about it at all. Because I think it would be a great message. It'd be inspiring, you know? I think it would do a lot of good if this alliance dominated. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't mind this group dominating. And I like all of them too. So that doesn't hurt that I like all of them. I mean, 3 out of 4 of my top 4 are in that alliance. So I'm good if they run the game. Even though, like I said, I would like there to be some mix-up with what's going on. So I understand those sentiments, Aaron, but I respect the fact that this is something very important beyond the game, and I think more people need to understand that. Also, can I just say that I wish that more podcasts would talk about this stuff, because I know that's, listen, after the last stream, I did try watching other podcasts. They don't talk about any of this shit. They talk about Christian and Alyssa as a showmance. They talk about they talk about no drama happening outside the house. They just talk about the episode and all that stuff. The episode is so fucking whack. Like, seriously, who fucking cares? Like, it all is on the feeds. Like, I don't need to recap the episode itself. Like, who fucking cares about, Whitney's, bralette? Like, the episode was fine. I liked the episode. It was a lot of filler. Like, it's all stuff we already knew. Like, acting like I love how they act like Whitney actually had a chance of staying when she was by no means going to stay this week at all. Like, they did the same thing with Brent. They did the same thing with Frenchie. Like, bitch, girl, fucking bye. Like, wah, wah, wah. I really think Derek F, Brittany, or Sarah Beth will give us one. Oh, a fight? I could see Sarah Beth. I don't know about Derek F, maybe. Actually, Derek F, probably. Brittany, maybe. I think Brittany would cry, though, throughout the whole thing. Can I just say that I think Brittany is so fucking funny. Like, I want to see Brittany go on the block again. I want to see Brittany go on the block again. I think it'd be so funny. Finally, someone said it. Wait, said what? I don't know what I just said. Sorry, I have ADHD. I forget about everything. I'm still pissed they let it slip to Brent. Oh, I'm so pissed too. I wanted to see, just like the Jose blindside where they told him right before he left. Like, I was so pissed about that. Like, it would have been so great to see him go home. Like, oh my god. Oh, Lord. Oops. Did you hear about the plane incident with Sarah Beth? No, what's the plane incident? There's a plane incident with Sarah Beth? Oh, Lord. Oh, on the block again. Yes, I would love if she was on the block again. Oh, my God. I would literally cackle if she was on the block again. It'd be so fucking funny. She'd be like, I'm on the block again. I can't believe that they would nominate me. I'm on the block. I'm on the block. I'm on the block. Like, I would fucking die. I think it'd be so fucking funny if Sarah Beth was on the block again. I mean, not Sarah Beth, fucking Brittany. Like, girl, please. Did y'all see her when... Did y'all see her after the second nomination? Like, she was inconsolable. She was like... Like, oh my god. Khalid said, I think CBS didn't want another problematic season, so they casted accordingly. No, CBS did this because Arissa Cox did it in Canada. So after Canada did it, CBS was like, okay, well, we need to follow suit. So, yeah. That was why we got this casting change. It had nothing to do with... Trust me, they've been doing... How many seasons have they had problematic casts? And they've changed nothing. They changed it because Arissa Cox pushed it, and also because of Tia and the other black alumni from Survivor started a petition for the 50% BIPOC thing. After Arissa Cox made that for Big Brother Canada, whatchamacallit, Tia started a whole thing from Survivor Cagayan, started a whole petition and like a show, and they got like thousands of signatures, and that was why CBS did that. That's why CBS now has the that casting change and stuff. It had nothing to do with problematic casting in the past. CBS does not give two shits. CBS knows that they could cast whoever the fuck they want to cast, and we will still watch it. Seriously. Some plane flew by, I think with initials SB, so Tiffany was conspiring, thinking it meant Sarah Beth being America's favorite. So now she might be a house target. Oh, who cares if someone's America's favorite? Like, seriously, America's favorite changes every fucking week. But I do think that that's really funny. I think that plane was probably either encouraging Sarah Beth or maybe telling the house to target her. But either way. Oh, also, what do y'all think this voting thing is going to be? Because apparently... I'm going to be on it in next year. But what do y'all think this voting thing is going to happen? I mean, I think it's probably going to be like, oh, America's favorite. You can vote for someone to receive immunity or a power, a special game-changing power that does absolutely nothing and is inconsequential. But you can vote, America. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. That laugh was so ugly. Honestly, I don't really care at this point. I think that they should have made an America's thing happen last season. I think last season needed it a lot more than this season needs it. Last season, definitely Janelle and Kaser, Davon Bailey could have used it. But whatever. Oh well. We'll see what happens. I feel like it's going to be some competition again. Maybe. I don't know. They always like to have a competition that fills up the nomination episode. I don't know why. Just bring back food competitions. Those were funny, and it actually caused more drama than these other competitions do. Like, this wildcard comp did basically nothing. It flopped so hard, which is not really surprising. I think the only week it really changed anything was the first week. But, I mean, it's a good idea in theory, but in practice, it did nothing. But I don't know what this thing is going to do. We'll see what happens. Big Brother's crazy. But yeah, do I have any more questions from the chat? I am parched. I'm giving my votes to Tiffany and Hannah. Well, you got to be patient with your votes because I would not give your vote to Tiffany and Hannah if it's a power they don't need. If it's a power they don't need, give it to someone that won't use it against them because you never know what their position will be. You know, you never know what the power will be. So we'll see. Oh, I have a question for y'all, by the way. So I do gaming on Twitch, right? And when I game on Twitch, I don't really have many people that watch because all of my people are over here. Should I do my gaming on YouTube? If y'all want me to do my gaming here, I'll literally, when I end this stream, I'll restart a new one and I'll play my game on here instead of on Twitch. So let me know if y'all want to see me play like Mario Party or something. I'll play it here instead of playing it on Twitch. Azza preseason, no showmances, falls for X. I can't really blame her though. X is someone to fall for. But I'm giving my votes to Tiffany and Hannah. Do you think I have a chance with Claire? I think you do. Claire's in the org community, Kendall, so go for it. I think you definitely could get with Claire. She is bi, you know. I'm sure that she would be down to rock with the Scarlet Carpet, I think. Methinks. I'm so glad those teams are brought up. Teams are stupid. They are stupid. All it does is prevent you from nominating people that you want to nominate. I think that it was good because it did create alliances and allegiances that are not entirely like it. I don't think that Brittany and Azza would have linked up if they weren't on the same team. Same with Derek F. But you know, with a team brought them together. So we'll see. Aw, someone reposted Dave on winning the veto. I remember when that happened. Everyone was over the moon. Oh, did y'all see this? Apparently on Evil Dick's show, Dick at Night, he had Christy on from BB21. Sheila's a friend of the show. Sheila's a friend of mine Sheila Kennedy from BB9. I'm friends with her. I have her phone number and everything. Actually, I should text her at some point. But no, they did a show tonight and apparently Christy is on it. Like, okay. Christy from BB21. I haven't heard anything from her actually in the longest time. I'm so happy DX improved from week 1 with his wild bro out mentality. Oh yeah, I remember that. The first week I thought he was gonna bro it out, but now he's just aligning with all women. Personally, I think he was trying to overcompensate, and I think he was going into the game thinking that he was going to have to act that way to be included in the majority. But I think once he realized that the women were better people and dominating the game, I think he realized he didn't need to do all that. And his true personality came out. You know, some boys get very toxic when they're around other boys, or fuck boys, if you will. And I feel like Derek X probably was that way or is that way. But being able to find women and surround women, he's probably a lot better. So, yeah. I don't really know what else to talk about. Wait you. Wait you what? Wait me what? Wait me what? Wait me what? Wait me up inside. Wait me up and save me. Wait, I don't want to get copyrighted. Dylan, what did you think about Whitney's DRs? I thought they were cute, especially the one where she said, I'm a vengeful bitch, grr. Listen, I like Whitney. I think that if this was an older season of Big Brother where... I think that if she was on like BB21 or like BB20, I think that Whitney would have been a favorite. I think that Whitney probably would have done a lot better. But this is a new season. It's a new group. It's a new people, and new people are getting opportunities. And this was just not Whitney's season. You know, I think that if she was on a season, like, I think that she could have been like a Holly Allen or something like that if you put her on a different group. However, this just was not her season. You know, I do think that there's a lot of players where if you were to put them on different seasons, they could have done significantly better. It's just, this is a season that's giving opportunities to different people, and that's why Whitney didn't do as well. And I agree that I think Whitney could have been a huge favorite if she was on an older season. I do. I think she's a good person. I think she's likable. She knows how to play the game. I like her. I think that she could have done a lot better if she was on an older season. Just not this season. This season wasn't really for her. I genuinely liked Whitney, to be honest. I wouldn't mind her being back one day. The thing with Big Brother is they bring people back so uncommonly. Like, a returnee is so uncommon because they only do one season a year. Whitney's not the person to bring back from this season. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're gonna bring someone back, why Whitney? Whitney's not. Yeah, actually, she does remind me of Catherine Dunn. I was thinking that, but I think she's a much better version of Kat Dunn. But even though Catherine actually is the one that gave me all the tea on Nicole last season, but no, I think that Whitney's a good person, a good player, and if she were to come back, I mean, I wouldn't be angry. But with this group, no. Whitney is not the one that they're going to bring back. I think they would even bring Frenchie back before they'd bring Whitney back. She just doesn't offer a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? But I do like her. I do think she's a cool person, and I don't mind her. I think she'll fade into obscurity, but you know what? You know what she'll go on? She'll go on The Challenge, and she'll go on Love Island or X on the Beach. I guarantee you we see her on one of those shows, and I'm fine with it. They pick shit. They pick such obscure people for those shows anyway. I feel like she's definitely one that would say yes to get money for her kids, and then y'all can go root for her on The Challenge. Shit, they need to start putting likable people on there. They keep on casting fucking Josh and Casey. Like, ew, why are you casting those two? Fucking weird. Can I just say that for all you people that watch The Challenge, I can't get into it because the people they cast, like, I know who they are, but, like, why would I ever want to watch them? Like this season. Let me look at the Challenge 37 really quick. The wiki. I think the only interesting people the only interesting ones for me was Michelle Fitzgerald and Michaela Bradshaw. Other than that, I was like, why the fuck were they chosen? I understood Tommy, and I wasn't angry at Tommy being brought back because Tommy was a really good player. And I mean, you know, Long Island, Strong Island. Ugh, I hate Strong Island. That's what fucking what's-her-face said. Fucking Nicole Anthony. But, like, I mean, he's a Long Islander. I'm here for it. But, like, these are just really weird choices. Like, the guy from Survivor Spain, his placement in Survivor Spain, he was the runner-up of Survivor Spain. Like, it's such a weird... Like, it's really weird choices. Like, okay, the girl they picked from Survivor Turkey, how far did she get in her season? She was the fourth. She was disqualified on that show. She was the fourth boot on this fucking show. Like, it's just really weird choices. Like, Survivor Romania. Warsaw Shore. What is that? 12 Dates of Christmas. It's just really weird people. And I'm just like, Love Island Germany. Like, girl, what? Like, I'm not saying that you can't cast international people. I have a problem with it, but it's just really obscure people. And they asked Anal Lice and Nick Macaron from fucking BB21, like the weirdest fucking picks. And if you're gonna put Michaela on there, why is Jay not there? Like, those two actually had confrontation on their season. And Casey and Josh, like, I can kind of get Josh. Casey was so boring, though, as a winner. Like, what? Why is Fessy being brought back every season? Who fucking cares about that cocky asshole that completely sunk the game of his alliance by being jealous and nominating Haley? Like, it's just really weird choices. You know, and they're bringing back the same fucking people every season. How many seasons has CT and Anissa been on? To me, what this is, it's a soap opera. It's not really a reality competition show. It's like a reality competition show soap opera because it's the same fucking people that have been on the show for like 20, 30 years, just like a soap opera, how we have the same characters for 30, 40 years with some new people sprinkled in there. And it's just like, who fucking cares? It's like, this is literally half the cast from the previous season. It's the same cast from last season with a few new people sprinkled in there. And actually, there was supposed to be more from last season, but some of them got cut because of quarantine. Like, what's the point of watching if it's just the same season over again, the same cast with a few new people? Like, what's the point? Like, that's why I can't get into the challenge. I watched the older seasons, but I just, like, ew. Like, fucking what? Like, whatever. They're probably the only ones that would agree to do it. Yeah, and they have to pay like thousands of dollars to them. Oh, hi Mika, nice to see you again. Derek X won HOH, thankfully. And I don't know what he's gonna do this week yet. We were talking about that for a while. Haley for the challenge. Apparently, she was asked to do it. I don't know why they don't get her on the show, but they go for anal lice. Whitney should have been on Love Island. I agree with that. But she said she wasn't looking for love. She definitely was. Honestly, I know some people were pissed at Whitney getting all mad at DX, but it's understandable why she... No, why are people... Hold on. People were mad at her for being mad at DX when he literally basically said Whitney's going home this week. He was dismissing her as even being a house guest. He basically was talking as if she was already gone. If I was her and I heard that, I'd be like, fuck you. I would be gung-ho to get rid of him. Absolutely. That's him basically saying that she's gone already. And you know what it means? It means that he knew that she was going home and he knew that she's the target. Because she was being told that she, like, isn't the target necessarily. Like, that means that he's in the know that she's going home. Especially when he's saying it around other people, a whole group of people. No, like, this is the problem. A lot of house guests just don't... Not a lot of house guests. A lot of fans just don't like people when they target their faves. If you're standing Derek and Whitney is after Derek, you don't like Whitney. And I understand it, but I just am not that way. If someone was coming after Tiffany, would I like it? No. But I'm not going to hate them because they're after Tiffany. Tiffany's playing the best game. Like, if someone were to target... If Sarah Beth were to nominate Tiffany, would I be happy? No. But Tiffany's trying to get Sarah Beth out, so I can't be mad at her. You know, it's different if they're targeting them for no reason. But... Come on now. Like, come on now. You can't be mad at someone and try to blow them up and say, fuck them, cancel them, they're over, because they're targeting your favorite house guest. Like, girl. And some of you are kidding and some of you are not. It's just like, come on now. Like, that's not a rational reason to dislike someone because they're playing the game. Like, like, come on now, please. Cookout need to be worried. Oh, no problem, Mika. I don't know if they need to be worried. I don't think he's going to directly go after them. If someone from the Cookout gets nominated, I kind of feel like it'll be one member against someone not in it. So they don't need to worry. They control the votes this week, especially since they're not HOH. And see, this is why I'm impressed with the Cookout. You see, the reason why the committee dominated is because they won every HOH. If they didn't win every HOH, they wouldn't have been successful. They wouldn't have been running the season. If Janelle, Kaser, or Davon could have won one of those 3 HOHs they got second in, most definitely they would have nominated 2 people from that group. 100%. They've all gone on record saying that. But the Cookout is smart enough and playing a well enough game to where they don't even need HOH. They won 2. All the other HOHs could have nominated them and they just didn't. They put one up. So... Nicole had her baby. Oh, well, congrats to Nicole. Honestly, people need to stop hating on Nicole Franzel. Like, Nicole Franzel might not be the best person, but, like, who fucking cares? Hannah tries to talk game with Azza, but Azza never gives her anything. And then acts like, oh, definitely Keisha, but people aren't going to talk about that because they want to defend Azza, which I get, but Azza's really disappointing me this season, to be honest with you. Like, she was my winner pick, and it's just, like, I was so sad to see that she's not really living up to what I had hyped her up to be. That freaking slow and steady shit from Azza in the wildcard comp was... I was dead as fuck at that. Azza just was taking her sweet-ass time, but, like, you could go a little quicker, Azza, than, like... Oh, my lord. Y'all, I have been talking to y'all for... an hour and a half. How do I talk to y'all for an hour and a half by myself? Azza want a man too bad for money. Mika, I don't agree with that. I do think, if you read her preseason thing, I do think that she has her eyes on Xavier, but I think she low-key was joking and, like, being petty. I don't think she actually is only there for a man. I think she is there to win the game. She just isn't playing the best game that we all expected her to do, especially from her preseason bio. I thought she was going to be a lot more cutthroat. It's just Tiffany's doing a lot better than she is. Kylan and Xavier are doing a lot better than she is. They're in much better positions. And also, she's just not in a spot where she needs to be cutthroat right now. I think if she comes in a spot, I think she will. I think that if Hannah and Brittany had been on the block last week, I think Azza would have tried flipping the vote. I actually really do. I think that if Brittany and Hannah were on the block, I don't know if I said Tiffany or not, but I think if Brittany and Hannah were on the block, I think that Derek F and Azah are too close to her. I don't think they would have been willing to let her go. I really don't. I actually genuinely really don't. Azah volunteered herself for the block over Brittany, and she's already said she doesn't trust Hannah. I think that if Hannah and Brittany would have been on the block last week, I think that might have fractured the cookout, which is why I'm glad that did not happen. I think if it happens this week or something like that happens this week where Brittany's on the block against somebody else, I think it could be danger. I really think that Brittany is higher up for Azah than the cookout is. I actually genuinely do, because they spend literally every fucking minute with each other. Same with Derek F. I just don't see them, but especially for Hannah, I don't see them turning on it. I think that if Hannah and Brittany had been on the block last week, I think that Whitney would have evicted Hannah. I think Sarah Beth and Alyssa would have evicted Hannah. And I think that Azah and Derek would have flipped and they would have evicted Hannah. I really think so. I'm glad they didn't. I'm not saying I wanted that to happen because Hannah's in my top 4. Remember that. But I do think that's what would have happened last week. And I think it would have been interesting. Oh, wait, no, Claire can't vote, right? I don't know if I said Claire or not, but I forgot Claire can't vote. But yeah, I think that Oz is going to turn on Hannah, and I feel like that could be what splinters that alliance. So I think Tiffany needs to repair those two's relationship. If she wants the cookout to succeed, I think that those two's relationship is what needs work. I think that they're safe right now. They're safe for a while. They need to take this time to get those two to work together, because if they don't, I think Azah and Derek F easily could flip. Or specifically, I think Azah will be the one to flip. I really do. I think that she would keep Brittany over Hannah in a heartbeat. She said it from the beginning. She's playing cutthroat, and I think that she would be willing to do something like that, especially if jury hits, because that was what they wanted. The agreement was they wanted to get to jury. And as they progress further into the game, and as they progress further, Tiffany and Kylan and Xavier all got along with each other really good, and they're like, we could cement a 5 and even bring a little Hannah in and make it a 6, and we could actually make it to the final 6. Because originally, I don't know if y'all remember, originally it was just a jury thing. They just wanted to all get to jury, but then it evolved into being a serious alliance where we're all going to final 6 with each other. So we'll just see what happens. In terms of totem pole, when it comes to the cookout, this is what Aaron is saying. I think the order from highest to lowest is Tiffany, Kylan, Xavier, Hannah, Big D, Azah. I actually agree with that. I actually think that it's a little more complex than that, because both Kylan and Xavier have a final 2 with Big D, and I don't think that Big D would get cut at 5. I think that is the hierarchy, but I think if we actually were to get down to 6, I think Azah would get cut first. Then I think that you would see Tiffany and Hannah link up, and Kylan and Xavier link up, and then you would see Big D in the middle. And I think Big D would side with the boys because, you know, he's been all about the boys all season. So I think that would be what would happen. And then I think it'd be really interesting from that point forward. And I think that they would probably pick Hannah off first. And then maybe Tiffany could get her. I think Tiffany could win a comp or 2 to get herself to the end. And then, I don't know, but we're thinking way too far. But I think that Azah's probably definitely at the bottom. So even if she does flip on them, I don't think it's a bad move for her. I think if Azah were to turn on them, I don't even think it's the worst move, because Azah is most definitely at the bottom of that alliance. And, you know, no matter what the alliance is, if you're at the bottom of it and you have numbers that you could potentially pick up, like, go for it. You know what I'm saying? But I don't see Azah doing anything like that for a while, and I hope she doesn't, but I think if they try taking Brittany out, I think she's going to do something about it, and I think Derek F will too, because I don't think either of those two will be willing to get rid of Brittany, because those two are very close to her. Who would you think Derek X would put up this week? Well, I was saying that I think he's going to nominate 2 jokers. I think he's going to nominate Azah and Brittany, potentially Azah, potentially Brittany and Derek. I think he's definitely going to put Brittany up though, because he's getting a lot of pressure to do it. But I think he's going to do 2 jokers to keep that alliance together. And then if the opportunity presents itself, I think he might backdoor Christian. But I think that's what's going on. And honestly, if he backdoors Christian, it'll be the funniest shit ever. And I wouldn't even be mad at it, because then next week we'll see Alyssa and Sarah Beth freaking out. And if one of them were to win HOH, like I'm saying, this jury is setting up to be a really interesting thing. I think this week is going to be the week where shit drops. I think that no matter who gets evicted this week, someone's not going to be happy. If Brittany gets evicted, Ozza and Derek are not going to be happy. If Christian gets evicted, Alyssa and Sarah Beth are not going to be happy. If Ozza or Derek F get evicted, the Cookout's not going to be happy. No matter who goes home, someone's not going to be happy. Someone's not going to be happy. And that's what's important. That's what's important. And I think that this week is going to set up for the alliances to clash and for people to start gunning for each other. There's no more easy target anymore. There's no more easy target. Everyone in the game has someone that's looking out for them. Those Aaron says those white people who are done with BB are going to be livid if Christian goes, because 5 white people have been evicted in a row. Girl, please, they need to just turn the channel off and go back to Fox News. Like, no one cares about them. Seriously. Like, for real. Like, they need to stop threatening and just fucking do it. They're all bark, no bite. They're still going to be watching all the way to the end so they can give their votes to fucking Christian for America's favorite. Guarantee you. I guarantee you. No matter what placement gets Christians in the top 3, I guarantee you they will find a way to give it to him. I guarantee you. I think that Tiffany should get America's favorite or Derek X should get America's favorite this season, but I could guarantee you that they're going to find some way to give it to Christian or at least get him in the top 3. I guarantee you. I guarantee you he'll be in the top 3. I guarantee you. He's going to get the Facebook vote. Even if he goes home this week, the further he gets, the higher his chances are. But I think even if he goes home this week, they're going to find a way to give it to him. I guarantee you. Because they're going to protest. OMG, Mika says, OMG, please no, don't call Race 23. We've seen it all. Wait, Mika, aren't you friends with Evan? Aren't you friends with Evan? I think that you're friends with Evan. If you're Evan's friend, hi, Mika. If you're not, I'm sorry. I have a friend, Evan, that watches this. Aw, thank you, Khalid. I appreciate that. I'm my favorite BB channel as well. Let me do my little Diana Ross. I'm dead. Nice to see you, Mika. I'm so happy that you were able to come to one of our streams. I appreciate that. I like you, Mika. Mika, if you wanted to be in my game, let me know, by the way, because I know that Evan said that you're interested in playing game. Oh, I need to respond to this guy that said he's interested in playing my game. Oh, shit. I forgot to message him back. Whoops. Whatever. You know what? He can wait. It took him like a million years to respond to me. Aw, Dashi. Aw, if anyone watches Dashi XP or Dashi Games, I follow him. Dashi Games is the only YouTuber that I have religiously followed for, oh my god, since I was like 13, 14. And he has gone on an amazing weight loss. I want to show y'all. And he's always been a little overweight. So this is him. And then this is what he looks like now. He's lost so much weight, and I really loved it because he always makes jokes about his weight, and I can tell that he's really insecure about it, or at least he was insecure about it, as someone that also had weight problems and has weight problems. So I love it. I'm so happy for him. 50 pounds down and keeping it off is no joke. I really like that. I really like that. For anyone out there that has weight problems, if you ever need someone to talk to you, I suffered with anorexia and bulimia and body dysmorphia. So if you ever need someone to talk about, I'm here. So. But I don't want to call it racist. It's not racist. If you're talking about the cookout, it is not racist. People are just really fucking dumb. That's all. Like, don't listen to these dumb fucking angry white people on Facebook, Mika. Like, let me explain this to my young viewers, okay? You can't be racist if you're not coming from a place of privileged, okay? Like, you can only be racist if you're coming from a place of privilege. And I don't think people get that. Like, you can be prejudiced, you can be bigoted, you can be ignorant, but racist, no. You have to come from a place of privilege to be racist. And people don't like that. People don't want to hear that. People, la 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 la. They don't want to fucking hear it because people like being the victim and people like feeling like, for some reason, there's this weird obsession with being, persecuted. Like, isn't that a bad thing to be an oppressed people? Like, why the fuck would, like, why are white people so desperate to be fucking victimized and oppressed? Like, bitch, calm fucking down. But no, to be racist, you need to come from a place of privilege. That's why, black people and other minorities cannot be racist. They can only be they can be prejudiced, they can be ignorant, they can be what's the other word that I used? Whatever, but they can't be racist. You can't be racist. You don't come from a place of privilege. You can't be racist. That's just it. If you look up racism, it's exerting your privilege and using it in a negative way. Like, I just wanted y'all to understand that. So when people say that the cookout is racist, I'm like, bitch, fucking goodbye. Like, you don't know what you're talking about. I know this is off topic, but Julie tells Whitney about the Royal Flush Alliance, but doesn't. Oh, well, we were talking about that, Aaron. I thought it was so stupid. I'm like, girl, what? Like, no one is acknowledging that the cookout is a thing. No one is acknowledging that the cookout is dominating the game, and it's really weird. Brent isn't acknowledging it in his exit interviews. Julie's not acknowledging it after the house guests get evicted. It's really weird, and I don't understand it because they are the dominating alliance. They are the dominating alliance. Like, no, the cookout's the one that's running the show. Don't get it twisted. The cookout is the one running the fucking show. The Royal Flush is a fake alliance. It's a fake fucking alliance. People in the alliance are the only ones that think it's real are Sarah Beth, Alyssa, and Christian. It's not a real alliance. It's like I said earlier in the stream, if you missed it, it's like the Slick Six from last season. They were so scared to talk about the committee because the committee was problematic as fuck. So they tried pretending it wasn't real. So they were like the Slick Six. And because they know that the angry white people out there are angry about the cookout, they don't want to acknowledge it because they want to stay as neutral as they possibly can. It's just so fucking dumb. Like, the cookout is the one running the game, not the fucking Royal Flush. It's so fucking stupid. Like, I can't even. Did anyone catch too that the picture they used of Christian was the one in him and the one of him in cornrows? Like, I'm sorry, I can't. Big Brother is so messy. Like, of all the pictures, you had to use that picture. Like, oh my god, they are such a fucking mess. I can't even. Oh, hi Isaiah. Oh, that's what I was saying, Isaiah. That's what I was saying. They're like the cookout. I mean, they're not the cookout is like the brigade, and people aren't getting that. The cookout is doing what the brigade did. They're making individual relationships with other house guests. That way, there's never two of them on the block. That's what the brigade did. That's what the brigade did. That's why the cookout is succeeding. And that's why I think they're on track to be the final six. And I saw someone talk about this earlier. It was one of my friends, Rachel. She said, she put a poll out. Do you think that next season, house guests are going to try splitting up the minority contestants in fear of a minority alliance? My answer is this. If after only one season of the cookout being a thing, house guests fear that, they have an issue. Because how many seasons have we seen where the white athletic men have formed a 4-person alliance? You have the brigade. You have the pretty boys. You have even the committee. The alliance within the committee with fucking like, there's so many incidences of the men forming an alliance forming a majority alliance that runs the season. But yet there's never fear of an all-male alliance. But what is there a fear of? An all-female alliance. There was never a fear of an all-minority alliance because that was never a possibility because there was never enough minorities to have a minority alliance. But there was always a fear of a female alliance, even though most of the time there never was a fucking female alliance. Like, there's almost never a female alliance. But there's always a fear of one. And they talked about it on Survivor, how it's honestly kind of fucking misogynistic to think that there's a female alliance just because 2 men got evicted, or just because you see the girls hanging out with each other. Like, to insinuate that there has to be a female alliance for them to succeed is kind of problematic. And if people assume that just because there was one season where all of the black house guests align with each other for that reason, that now there's always going to be a black alliance. Like, that's a problematic way of thinking. And honestly, I'm going to be real with you. If I was in the house and I thought that there was an all-black alliance, you would never catch me saying that. because it's insulting to insinuate that there would be an alliance of all black people just because no black house guests have been evicted yet. Because guess what? If you're wrong, if you're fucking wrong, you're showing your hand that you're a racist person, that you would have to think that way, that there has to be, that they're all together, that you would other that group of people to think that there has to be a black alliance because that's all who's still left in the game. So I would never even insinuate that that there's a black alliance going on, because you know what, even if you are right, you're still showing that why are you looking at that? The fact that you are like, wait, it's been all white house guests evicted so far. Like the way that you're thinking like that, it kind of shows your hand a little bit. You know, if people were to say, I think that Tiffany, if they were to name all the members of the cookout and be like, I think they're all together, but not mentioning the fact that they're black, that's different. But to insinuate, if people in the future are like, okay, the cookout was a thing, so now we need to worry that there might be potentially a black alliance in the future, that's kind of showing your hand that you have some racism inside you that's kind of perking out. You know, it, like Monique said, it's jumping out and then it jumps back in. So that's my thing, that no, I don't think that it's rational for house guests in the future to want to split up minority house guests in fear of a minority alliance. And if that happens, then you have a serious problem, because I've always said this. The way that I would approach Big Brother is that gender, sexual orientation, race, those are the least important things when it comes to nomination. And if you go in there with the intention to nominate a house guest for any of those reasons, you have a problem. I don't even like when people nominate a female because they're worried that too many males have been evicted, or a male because too many females have been evicted. Like, I'm not even here for that entirely. So if house guests start going in there with that rationale, you're digging yourself in a hole, period. And you're showing your hand. So I don't feel like, and you know what? If people really do feel that way, ooh, not someone texting me, oh hell no. I think I said someone in my game and they were like, oop. But no, if people really were to start thinking that way, I would be disappointed. And I also guarantee you that if people do go into the house thinking that way, you're not going to hear people vocalize it. You're not going to hear people vocalize it. If people do start thinking that way, they're not going to vocalize it. And if they do vocalize it, they're going to keep it on the DL. Abso-fucking-lutely. But I wouldn't be surprised. I would hope not. And I don't think it's a rational way of thinking, but I could see it happening. Think about it. If Dan or Derek came into the game with 6 black people, would they have won? No. I think that if Dan or Derek had came into the game with... Actually, I'm going to take Dan out of the equation. I think if Derek had come into the game with more intelligent house guests, no matter what shade or race they were, I think that Derek would not have won his season. Derek won his season because all of the players in that game were stupid. They had an IQ of 2. It was the dumbest, steroid-driven, testosterone-filled house. That was why Derek won. Derek had a cakewalk to the finals. He had a cakewalk to the finals. So, no. I don't think that Derek would have won, and I don't even think it has to do with race. I think that Derek wouldn't have won if he was against literally any other group of house guests. But definitely, if there were more black people in the game, or really any minority in the game, I don't think Derek would have had as easy a time, especially knowing that he's a cop. Me too. So you see right through CBS get backfire with this season. I don't know. Off topic, but I think Day has to be one of the most underrated players. Oh, I think that Dayvon is a great player. It's just that the cast that she played with did her dirty. You have to remember, Dayvon played with all white people in season 17, with the exception of, I believe, Jackie. But no, she stuck out like a sore thumb. She couldn't relate to anyone in the game. And then season 18, she was one of the 4 veterans, so she had a target on her back from the beginning. And again, I think if she was on this season, she could have gotten along with more people. She could have gotten along with more, even her having a daughter, looking at having a daughter, if there's another parent in the house, you can relate with them. Who had a kid in season 17? She was the only one, right? Yeah, she's the only one. Jace didn't have... No, none of these people had a kid. She's the only one with a kid. That's why they kept calling her Mama Day, which, by the way, don't call her Mama Day. That is so fucking problematic. Like, seriously. I know people don't understand that, but that was so problematic to call her Mama Day, especially since she's in her fucking 20s. It's disrespectful. I wouldn't want to be called fucking daddy, but especially with history... It was fucking gross. I didn't like seeing it. And then she came back for 18, and I think, again, she was the only one with kids, except for Boogie Down Bronx Glenn, who was evicted literally the first round. So even she couldn't even relate to people on that aspect of having a daughter. So, no, I think that if she was on this season, she could have done fantastic. You know what I'm saying? That's why I think diversity is important, not only in racial background and sexual orientation and, of course, gender, but also cast people with different life experience. You know, cast people that are older, then cast people that are younger, people in the middle, people with kids, people without kids, people that work in all different places, you know, blue collar, white collar, no collar, different religions. How about throw a Jew in there? I don't have any Jews to root for this season. You know, throw... all different types of people in there. Like, use all colors of the rainbow. But again, I don't think people think about those things when they're casting. You know what I'm saying? Yes, we had a whole episode. One of my streams, we just talked about the Nolan twins. I don't acknowledge incest. So I choose not to acknowledge that they exist. Don't get me wrong, I love Day, but it was wrong for what she said to David. Oh, yes, I do know what you're talking about. I am not going to repeat what she said. But I do understand why people had problems with that. I think that I understood why she was saying it because of... I shouldn't even be in this discussion, but I understood her frustration with David, especially with seeing how he acted after the season was over. I mean, he was hanging out with Jackson Mickey and Jack and all the people that said this terrible stuff about Kemi. So I understood why she felt that way. However, and also she was trying to, you know, push him forward, and like she was really playing to promote Black success in that season. You know, she voted out Nicole Anthony, even though Nicole Anthony was better for her game than David was, because she didn't want to vote to evict a Black man. And that was why she was so hurt by Nicole, because she was like, Nicole, if I'm going to cuss him out, I don't want to do that. You know, I'm trying to promote a message here, and like, you're going to hurt that message if you have me cursing him out for no reason and not believing him. But I do think that Davon, like, I understand how that hurt a lot of people's feelings when she said what she said. I'm not going to repeat what she said. If you want to know what she said, Google is a thing, but you are never going to catch me using that phrase or that word. Absolutely not. You know, it's so ironic that even though minorities barely get cast, they're most likable in the season. Well, exactly. And you know what? I say this with my game, with I Love Money, the show I host. If you're a good casting director, you don't need to have a casting thing, like a mandate. You don't need to have a diversity quota. You will naturally find your cast to be very diverse because honestly, the most entertaining players most of the time are not the White House guests. Am I right or am I wrong? Why do you think this season has been so more entertaining and so much more likable? If you are a good casting director, your cast will naturally be diverse. Period. And you're exactly right, Aaron. Wait, I'm late on the Nolan tea. Well, if you didn't know Alicia, please, I'm weak at that. Is that Hannah in your thing? Oh, no, that's a person from Big Brother, the game. But no, the tea on them is that they've been doing OnlyFans videos of them making out and fucking. They've been doing incest videos. Whitney getting mad at Derek X, but she called his private area an egg roll. Oh, that was just... When Whitney did that, I was over her, and I was kind of off the Whitney train. I was just like, girl, fucking please. Like, see, Whitney was saying things here and there that were, and we had a whole video talking about this. That's why I hate to be a broken record and talk about it again, but I don't think people understand that jokes like that are hurtful. Just like if someone were to tell me, like, I would literally have people joke about this to me. Oh, Dylan, there's a penny on the floor. I know you would want it because you're a Jew. Like, basically insinuating that I'm greedy because I'm Jewish. Like, I can make that joke. because I'm a Jew. I can make that joke about myself. You don't get to make that joke about me because you're not a Jew. It's actually very offensive when people insinuate that I'm greedy. I actually get very offended when people insinuate that I'm a greedy person because of that stereotype, especially people that know that I'm Jewish. So when she said that, and I'm not saying that this stuff is comparable. I'm just trying. Whenever I compare things to a Jew's perspective and how it would happen to us, I'm just trying to put it into words that might be more understandable to people, and to show that I can understand it from a different perspective. But I'm not comparing it at all. But yeah, it's just I thought Whitney was so dumb for making that fucking joke. I mean, I'm not saying Whitney is in the right, but is it possible she didn't really know? What do you mean? I think that she's just ignorant. I think that she thought that joke was okay to say, and I think she thought people would think it's funny. And maybe she doesn't know that it's not okay to say that, but she fucking should. She's 30, she has 2 kids. Like, girl, fucking please. Kind of funny how Frenchie, Brett, and Whitney were all bullying DX. Look at them now. That's right. Evicted. I love it, I love it, I love it. Oh, goodness gracious me almighty. You made my balls so blue. They're working na 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 da 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 da. I don't know why I randomly started thinking of Heathers the Musical. And y'all probably listen to that like, what is he talking about? You make my balls so blue. That is one of my favorite songs from fucking Heathers. It is so ridiculous. I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh, goodness gracious me almighty. How long has this stream been going on for? 2 hours. Oh, Lord, I was supposed to end this stream a hot minute ago. It's 2 o'clock? Wow, I don't even have time to do Twitch streaming anymore. Whoops. Yes, it's a microaggression. Okay. I think I'm gonna log off. Thank you. Thank you guys so much for watching. I actually need to go talk to my casting people because I'm trying to get people for my game. If you are interested, next week, Thursday, I will be premiering I Love Money, which is my game show. It's actually very similar to Big Brother Survivor. People vote each other off. There's 4 seasons already on my channel. It's a live show with fans of Big Brother and Survivor playing on Zoom from their homes. It's a really great time. It's really dramatic. It's lots of fun. And it's going to start on Thursday. Cast reveal is going to be on Monday. So, yeah, tune in for I Love Money Season 8, New Blood. Also, check out my Twitch channel. It's Slightly Bitter with an AH, just like my YouTube channel. I play games on there. I might go live. Probably not because I'm tired. And, of course, subscribe here because I do Big Brother whenever the fuck I feel like it. Usually after when the episodes are over. Also, if you want to know whenever I'm going live, my Twitter is at Slightly Bitter with an AH, so you can be in the know whenever I'm going live. Anyway, I'm going to go grab a glass of water, and I hope that I made your night a little less bitter. Anyway, be sure to... Oh, it's okay, Keisha. We'll have you on next time, and you definitely should watch. Anyway, I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching me. I just think it's so cool that people come here and watch me at like 2 o'clock in the morning. Like, that's so cool. Subscribe, and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye.